Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, you have three options, okay, when you're looking for a small dollar loan that potentially will not do a hard pull on your credit, okay? And so, that being said, when you look for small dollar loans, usually you're looking for loans that's less than $10,000. Now, here's the thing that happens with people, okay, when they get denied. Usually it's not because of the credit score. Usually it's because of the income requirements or the information that's put on the application. The reason is because some of these here lenders, they may use third-party outdated information. And if you recently moved and put that address on your application and they're pulling from these third parties that have outdated information, then this can end up causing you to be denied. That being said, let's talk about the three places. All right. First one is with credit unions. Okay. And so when you have a credit union, it all depends. Like Navy Federal, Penn Fed. All right. Most people are familiar with them, but they do not offer small dollar loans. Okay. So some of the more easier places when you join them, is usually about 90 days to get a small dollar loan, would be like DCU, Digital Credit Union. Okay, so they offer a small dollar loan of up to $2,000. They give you a $1,000 for the first 90 days, and then after you've been there for 6 months, they will give you another $1,000. Okay, and they use Equifax 5. However, on the small dollar loan, they're not even pulling the credit because you already have that relationship with them. Okay, so DCU, another of my top picks would be the DOC. Okay, and so with the DOC Federal Credit Union, they have two types of loans. All right, they have an emergency loan and then they have a small dollar loan. So their emergency loan is for $5,000. Okay, however, you have to be with them for at least 6 months to get that loan, to be qualified for that loan, the $5,000. However, the small dollar loan, that's the one. And with that $5,000 emergency loan, they give you up to 60 days before you make your first payment. Okay, so that's the reason why they're on the list. And then they have their small dollar loan, which is up to $2,000. All right, and so you only have to be with them at least 90 days in order to qualify for them. All right, so those would probably be my two top pick for us with credit unions. Now the next one is your Fintechs. Okay, so with your Fintechs, they not only focus on like the credit score, they're more focused on, again, income driven. All right, and seeing what is your after income after taxes. Okay, and that's the reason I tell you, like with some lenders, if you're making $500 after taxes, they'll work with you. With some lenders, they want you to be making $800 or even up to $1,200 after taxes in order to qualify. So like, you hear me talk about Opportune. So with Opportune, they are a CDFI, okay? And so since they're CDFI, the minimum income requirements for them is only $500 after taxes, okay? And so their loans go from $300 up to $10,000. Then you have your Cash App type of lenders as well. So you got Earning that will give you up to $1,000. All right. Then you also have Albert that'll give you up to $1,000. And then if you have bad credit and you're trying to get more than that out of Albert, they'll go up to $10,000 on a loan. But again, that's more paperwork that you'll be dealing with. Then if you individuals, you are out here, you may have a car that you have paid off, or you may have equity in that car, then Yendo may be an option for you as well. Okay, so that could be an option for you. A lot of people forget about that. They know about like getting a title loan. However, this is the type of loan you're able to get while still driving a car, and you can still be making payments on your car loan. However, the thing of what's better about it is because if there's equity built up in it, you don't even have to have the car paid off, and they will help you qualify. Okay, so that's the reason why they're on the list. All right, then you have a organization. It's called People's Trust. Okay, and so with People's Trust, there's a credit union and then there's an organization. Now the organization, they go up to $10,000 and they work with people with bad credit. A lot of people aren't even familiar with them. All right, and you all hear me talk about there's other lenders out there in the Jewish community and stuff like that don't even charge you interest on a loan. So they give you anywhere from $15,000 up to $20,000. The one in California, they give you up to $15,000 with no interest on the loan. Okay, but you have to be in California in order to qualify for them. Now, you also have, and this is very important, these are your tribal lenders. Okay, now with some tribal lenders, yes, they can be predatory. Okay, meaning that the interest rates can be in 3 digits on the interest rates, right? And so you have to be very careful. That's the reason why I continue to tell you, if you are looking for a loan when you have bad credit and you're trying to avoid that hard pull, and you're trying to avoid that loan showing up on a credit file, you may want to look for platforms that actually deal with tribal lenders. Okay, and so you hear me talk about like Green Dollar Loan. And so with Green Dollar Loan, of course, they charge interest rates as 5.99 up to 35.99. However, again, you can be low income. You can receive disability benefits. Okay, and they still will allow you to qualify. Okay, so it's just certain type of lenders that you can work with. Now, some of your direct lenders, again, the interest rates, and also if they have if they're able to even offer you a loan in that state. And that's another thing. Like some of the lenders I mentioned, they may not even offer loans in your state. Okay, so if they don't offer loans in your state, that may be an automatic denial because of that. So it ain't because of your credit score or even the address. They just may not even offer the loans in your state. So like you have Explore Credit. Okay, it's a tribal lender. They offer up to $2,000. Right? So they offer up to $2,000. Yes, the interest rate is higher. However, they're a direct lender. So they have more flexibility. All right. Now, excuse me. You have like big picture loans. Okay. They give you $3,500. Like I said, when you're looking for small dollar loans, these are loans that, again, they have a lower threshold. And most people that are looking for these loans, they may not have the best credit. Okay. One of the harder things is for a lot of people when they have an 800 credit score, but their DTI, their debt to income ratio, is just too high for your traditional banks and credit unions. Now, unfortunately, like with US Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they do offer small dollar loans. However, again, you have to have had a relationship with them anywhere from 6 months to a year without having any negatives on your checking account in order to qualify. Okay, and so they're usually probably giving you maybe 500 to 1,000. So it depends on who you're banking with. So I would tell you, whenever you're looking for a loan with no hard pull on the credit, sometimes you may not be aware that your credit union, find out if they're a CDFI. And so if they are a CDFI, they may have a small dollar loan to offer you. Okay, so I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.